In the year 2523, humanity was no longer alone in the universe. Having made contact with various alien species over centuries, Earth had become a small but proud player in a galaxy dominated by far more advanced civilizations. While these otherworldly species boasted technologies that could bend the laws of physics, humanity had survived through grit, innovation, and sheer determination. The Galactic Coalition, a powerful assembly of advanced alien races, considered humanity a curious species, primitive by their standards but resilient. Still, the coalition leaders often scoffed at human technology, viewing Earth's advancements as quaint relics of a bygone era. The tension between Earth and the coalition boiled over during a routine skirmish on the outer rim of the galaxy. The Zor'thak, an elite alien species renowned for their warrior culture, had become impatient with humanity's slow adaptation to advanced weaponry. Their arsenal, comprised of plasma rifles, photon cannons, and bioengineered weaponry, made Earth's military seem laughably obsolete. Captain Liam Hayes of the United Earth Defense Fleet was a seasoned veteran and had heard it all before. At 45, he had seen his fair share of interstellar combat, but he was never one to back down from a challenge. His ship, the Atlas, had been dispatched to a coalition rendezvous point for what was supposed to be a peaceful negotiation. But peace, as history often reminded, could be fragile. As the Earth delegation arrived at the coalition flagship, an air of arrogance filled the command center. The Zor'thak leader, Commander Zor'thak, stared down Captain Hayes with disdain, his four glowing eyes narrowing as he spoke. "You humans still cling to your ancient tools. You don't even understand the concept of real power," Zor'thak said, gesturing toward the rifle strapped to Hayes' back. The rifle in question was an old, Earth-made gun, a relic by galactic standards. It was a simple kinetic projectile firearm, something humanity had relied on for centuries before the advent of energy weapons. In the eyes of the aliens, it was as primitive as throwing stones. "You think that antique can harm anyone?" Zor'thak sneered. Several Zor'thak warriors chuckled at the sight of it, their amusement echoing in the metallic chamber. Captain Hayes smirked, his grip tightening around the weapon's handle. "This old thing? It's more powerful than you think," he replied coolly. The Zor'thak had fought and conquered countless worlds. Their warriors were genetically enhanced, their battle suits forged from materials that could withstand the harshest conditions. But they had never faced anything like humanity's oldest weapon. It wasn't just about the gun itself. It was about what it represented: ingenuity, adaptability, and the spirit of survival. Zor'thak, still laughing, challenged Hayes to a demonstration. "Show us human. Fire your relic. Let's see what kind of damage it can do." With the room filled with condescending laughter from the alien commanders, Hayes calmly positioned himself. The rifle was old, but it had been carefully maintained. As the coalition members watched, one of the Zor'thak warriors stood forward, clad in his seemingly impenetrable armor, confident that no human weapon could breach his defenses. "All right," Hayes muttered, locking eyes with the alien warrior. "Let's see how ancient this really is." In one swift motion, Hayes raised the rifle and fired a single shot. The sound of the gunshot reverberated through the chamber, a sharp, cracking noise unlike the smooth hum of energy weapons. The Zor'thak warrior stood still, as if unfazed, until a small, almost imperceptible hole appeared in his armor. The room fell silent. Then, like a delayed reaction, the warrior's body crumpled to the ground. His armor, designed to deflect plasma and photon beams, had no answer to the raw kinetic force of a simple bullet traveling at hypersonic speed. Blood pooled beneath him, and his fellow warriors stepped back in shock. What just happened?" Zor'thak stammered, his arrogance replaced by disbelief. Hayes lowered his rifle. "That's the thing about ancient human weapons," he said. "We didn't rely on energy fields or biotech. Sometimes brute force gets the job done." The coalition members, once confident in their superiority, suddenly saw humanity in a new light. This wasn't just a primitive race struggling to keep up. This was a species that knew how to adapt, how to use what they had to the fullest effect. They didn't need the most advanced weapons. They just needed the right tool for the right situation. Zor'thak, stunned by the loss of his warrior, quickly regained his composure, but the laughter had died. Now, there was only a growing respect for the humans standing before him. The Coalition would have to reconsider underestimating Earth. Captain Hayes glanced around the room. "Now," he said, "are we ready to talk, or do I need to give another demonstration?" The negotiations that followed were markedly different. Humanity, once viewed as the underdog of the galaxy, had earned its place at the table not through the most advanced technology, but through an unwavering spirit that could turn even the oldest tools into something deadly. And as the meeting concluded, Captain Hayes left with a sense of satisfaction. He didn't need the latest gadgets or the flashiest weapons. He had something far more powerful, an understanding of what it meant to be human. In the end, it wasn't the gun that mattered. It was the person behind it. The aftermath of the standoff between Captain Liam Hayes and the Zor'thak resonated far beyond the walls of the Coalition flagship. News of the incident spread like wildfire across the galaxy, reaching the farthest corners of known space. Human colonies, long accustomed to being dismissed as backwater settlements, were suddenly thrust into the limelight. Discussions about the unexpected lethality of antique Earth weaponry dominated the galactic media channels, and Earth's newfound respect echoed in diplomatic circles. Back on Earth, the United Earth Defense Fleet headquarters buzzed with excitement and disbelief. Captain Hayes had become an overnight hero, a symbol of humanity's tenacity and resourcefulness. His actions had not only saved face during the crucial negotiations, but had also opened new doors for Earth within the Galactic Coalition. A week after the showdown, Captain Hayes stood in his office aboard the Atlas, now docked at Earth's largest spaceport. The rifle, his grandfather's old military-issue firearm, hung proudly on the wall, gleaming in the artificial light. It had become more than just a weapon. It was now a symbol of humanity's adaptability and perseverance. Hayes was reviewing reports when his comms officer, Lieutenant Avery, stepped in, saluting crisply. "Captain, we've just received a transmission from the Galactic Coalition. They want to formalize a joint training program with Earth's forces," Avery said, unable to hide the excitement in her voice. "Joint training?" Hayes raised an eyebrow. "Yes, sir. It seems they're interested in learning more about our tactical diversity. Their words, not mine," she grinned. "Looks like they want to know how we manage to survive with what they call outdated tech." Hayes chuckled, leaning back in his chair. "Guess they finally realize there's more to war than shiny gadgets." As Avery left, Hayes turned back to the rifle on the wall. The Coalition had been shocked, but to him, it was a reminder of something Earth had always understood: the importance of simplicity and effectiveness. It wasn't about who had the most advanced weapons or the most intricate technology. Sometimes, victory came from understanding the strengths of what you had and knowing how to use it. But things weren't all rosy on the interstellar front. The Zor'thak, humiliated and furious over the death of their warrior, were not content to let the matter rest. Rumors had begun circulating that Commander Zor'thak was preparing for retaliation. The Zor'thak Empire was a proud race, and their warrior culture demanded retribution for any slight, especially one that had tarnished their reputation across the galaxy. It wasn't long before those rumors became reality. 3 weeks after the incident, Earth's outer colonies began receiving strange transmissions, distorted messages warning of incoming Zor'thak fleets. Tensions rose as military outposts scrambled to prepare for what could only be described as an impending assault. Back aboard the Atlas, Captain Hayes was called into an emergency briefing. The United Earth Defense Fleet had intercepted communications confirming that the Zor'thak were planning a large-scale attack on Earth's strategic positions in the Outer Rim. It was clear that Zor'thak wanted revenge, and this time, it wouldn't be a mere negotiation. The situation was dire. The Atlas, though formidable by Earth standards, was still outgunned by the Zor'thak warships, which boasted advanced plasma cannons and energy shields. Humanity's reliance on kinetic weaponry, while effective in isolated incidents, would be put to the ultimate test in an all-out war. As the Atlas and its fleet prepared to jump to the defense of the outer colonies, Hayes knew that this fight would define humanity's future. This wasn't just about Earth's survival. It was about proving to the galaxy, once and for all, that humans belonged in the stars. The battle, when it came, was nothing short of chaotic. Zor'thak ships descended upon the colonies with brutal efficiency, their glowing energy weapons slicing through space with terrifying precision. Earth's defense fleet, led by the Atlas, retaliated with everything they had. Railguns, missile batteries, and kinetic artillery unleashed a storm of firepower, but the Zor'thak armor was tough, and their shields almost impenetrable. Almost. As the battle raged on, Hayes realized that their standard tactics wouldn't be enough. The Zor'thak had learned from their previous encounter. They weren't going to let human ingenuity surprise them again. But Hayes had one last trick up his sleeve. In the deepest parts of the Atlas's armory lay a secret weapon, something long forgotten by the rest of the galaxy: nuclear warheads. While energy weapons had become the standard in modern warfare, Earth's nuclear arsenal had remained untouched, considered too dangerous and unpredictable to use in the delicate politics of intergalactic combat. But desperate times called for desperate measures. With the Zor'thak fleet closing in, Hayes made the call. "Prep the nukes," he ordered, his voice calm but resolute. The Atlas launched the warheads in a carefully calculated trajectory. As they hurtled through space, the Zor'thak ships detected the incoming threat, but they didn't know how to respond. Their shields, designed to deflect energy-based attacks, were useless against the sheer destructive force of nuclear fission. When the warheads detonated, the resulting explosion lit up the dark expanse of space like a new sun. The shockwave tore through the Zor'thak fleet, disabling their ships and obliterating their defenses. The once invincible warriors were left scrambling, their arrogance shattered along with their ships. In the aftermath, the Galactic Coalition could no longer deny humanity's place among the stars. Earth, a seemingly primitive planet with its outdated technology, had just delivered one of the most decisive victories in galactic history. As the Atlas returned home, battered but victorious, Captain Hayes looked out at the stars. He knew this wouldn't be the last time Earth faced such a threat. But now, the galaxy knew better than to underestimate humanity. After all, if there's one thing humans were good at, it was making the impossible possible, even with ancient tools at their disposal.